President Joe Biden and his wife, Jill, on Monday traveled to New Orleans to attend the Interfaith Prayer Service for peace and healing with the families of 14 persons that were killed and 35 others injured on New Year Day truck-driving terror attack at French Quarters along Bourbon Street when the victims were celebrating the season around 3 a.m. local time. Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI New Orleans Division, in a press statement few hours ago, called on anyone who may have information on the car terror suspect, Shamsuddin Jabbar, while the FBI updated the general public with a photo illustrations of Jabbar's movements leading up to the Bourbon Street terrorist attack. "We are asking if anyone has information to help the investigation. Call 1800-CALB," FBI stated. Jill and I traveled to New Orleans to stand with a community defined by strength and resilience. To grieve, to pray, and let them know that America stands with them and mourns with them, Joe Biden stated in a social media statement. It was also gathered that one of the survivors of the attack was a physically challenged person on a motorized wheelchair. In a statement, Todd Terrell stated that, "Yesterday, our founder and President Todd Terrell visited with NOLA terrorist attack victim Jeremy Sensky and his family at University Medical Center in New Orleans. Jeremy is a paraplegic and was on Bourbon Street when the terrorists struck him with a speeding truck, crushing his motorized wheelchair. United Cajun Navy and our partners worked to get Jeremy a new motorized wheelchair, as well as assist the family with expenses as they were visiting from Pennsylvania. Our UCN chaplain Tony Dickey has also been on hand for days counseling victims' families on navigating the difficult process of obtaining public assistance. We are also distributing comfort cups, which are weighted, therapeutic stuffed bears that have been given to the families who have experienced traumatic events. We also brought comfort cups following the Maui fires and Hurricane Helene devastation in Florida and North Carolina. Pray for Jeremy and the other victims of this senseless terrorist act. FBI, New Orleans, alongside our federal, state, and local partners, opened a Family Assistance Center, FAC, to provide services and care to the victims of the Bourbon Street terrorist attack, according to the press release by FBI on Monday, stating that the FAC offers crisis assistance including mental health services, financial and lodging assistance, and other resources. Anyone present during the attack can also retrieve personal effects or items left behind. This center is for victims, their family members, and anyone present at the Bourbon Street attack, even if they were not physically injured. The FAC will provide services from 11 a.m. up to 7 p.m., hours subject to change, at St. Martin de Porres Parish School at 5621 Elysian Fields Avenue. Victims can also visit fbi.gov/Bourbon Street Victims to fill out a short form and find additional information and resources. Joe Biden had earlier in a press statement stated that, "I have been continually briefed since early this morning by federal law enforcement leadership and my Homeland Security team, including Secretary of Homeland Security Ali Mayorkas, Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco, White House Homeland Security Advisor Liz Sherwood Randall, and the Mayor of New Orleans regarding the horrific incident that occurred there overnight. The FBI is taking the lead in the investigation and is investigating this incident as an act of terrorism. I am grateful for the brave and swift response of local law enforcement in preventing even greater death and injury. I have directed my team to ensure every resource is available as federal, state, and local law enforcement work assiduously to get to the bottom of what happened as quickly as possible and to ensure that there is no remaining threat of any kind. I will continue to receive updates throughout the day, and I will have more to say as we have further information to share. In the meantime, my heart goes out to the victims and their families who were simply trying to celebrate the holiday. There is no justification for violence of any kind, and we will not tolerate any attack on any of our nation's communities, Joe Biden had stated. Meanwhile, in a formal statement, the FBI has called on internet sleuths, particularly ex-users, to please stop solving crimes before they have a chance to do so. The FBI statement comes some hours after ex-users allegedly discovered all suspects and motives related to the recent terror attacks in New Orleans and Las Vegas. The statement reads in part thus: "It is in the public interest that all ex-users stop solving crimes immediately. Solving crime is the responsibility of the federal government and local law enforcement. If we do not solve crimes first, we cannot control the narrative, and that's important for national security reasons we cannot discuss at this time. You're going to put us all out of a job," said FBI Director Christopher Wray, commenting on the public statement. "We're supposed to be the ones solving crimes. Please stop demonstrating how useless we are." As an incentive, the FBI is promising not to raid anyone who complies. "All you have to do is not report on suspects, observe obvious connections to other crimes, or complain when we prosecute parents of school-aged children," a spokesman for the bureau explained. "You scratch our back, we leave your back alone. Get it?" FBI had prosecuted an ex-user for interfering with a cover-up. The FBI said last week Thursday that it now believed the suspect acted alone in an act of terrorism in the truck attack in New Orleans on New Year's Day that killed 14 and injured dozens more when a man drove a rented pickup into a crowd celebrating on busy Bourbon Street. The chief suspect, the 42-year-old U.S. citizen Shamsuddin Jabbar, was killed as he shot at police and officers returned fire, bringing the total deaths from the incident to 15, with estimated 35 others injured. The FBI also announced that it had found no definitive link between the New Orleans attack and the explosion that occurred later on Wednesday of a Tesla Cybertruck outside a hotel owned by Donald Trump in Las Vegas, which resulted in the death of the driver. Over the past 24 hours there had been contradictory reports on whether the suspect in New Orleans had associates in the planning or execution of the attack, while the authorities also had said they were looking into possible connections between the New Orleans and the Las Vegas incidents, before updating the public on Thursday on both fronts. Christopher Wray, Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI's Counter-Terrorism Division, said that the evidence had now shown Shamsuddin Jabbar was solely responsible for the New Orleans attack and had professed his allegiance to Islamic State. "This was an act of terrorism. It was premeditated and an evil act. He was 100% inspired by ISIS," Wray said, adding, "We know that he specifically picked out Bourbon Street. Not sure why." The FBI also revealed that Jabbar posted 5 videos on his Facebook account in the hours before the attack in which he proclaimed his support for the Islamist militant group, while also previewing the violence that he would soon unleash in the city's famed French Quarter. The videos included one in which he said he originally planned to have his family and friends, but was concerned that news headlines would not focus on the war between the believers and the disbelievers, Wray said. He also left a last will and testament, the FBI said. Earlier, senior FBI figures and the Attorney General of Louisiana had said they believed known associates and multiple people were probably involved. Jabbar, from Houston, Texas, drove a rented white pickup truck between the 100 and 400 blocks of Bourbon Street, crashing into revelers and mowing many down, then shooting from the truck, hitting 2 police officers before he was killed. Jabbar, who served in the U.S. Army for 13 years, was wearing body armor and a helmet, according to a law enforcement bulletin, and was displaying an Islamic State flag mounted on a pipe in the bed of the vehicle. The FBI is investigating the attack as an act of terrorism. Abdurrahim Jabbar, Jabbar's younger brother, told the Associated Press on Thursday that it doesn't feel real that his brother could have done this. "I never would have thought it'd be him," he said. "It's completely unlike him." He said that his brother had been isolated in the last few years, but that he had also been in touch with him and he did not see any signs of radicalization. "It's completely contradictory to who he was and how his family and his friends know him," he said. Accordingly, investigators found guns and what appeared to be improvised explosive devices in the vehicle. Louisiana's Attorney General, Liz Muriel, said the explosive devices associated with the attack appear to have been manufactured at an Airbnb in New Orleans that she said was rented out for that purpose. In addition, Muriel said, "A house fire occurred on Wednesday morning that was connected to this event, where we believe the IEDs were being made." A New Orleans emergency management source said firefighters who put out that intentionally set blaze spotted a gasoline can, a drill, and some type of adhesive material. That discovery prompted them to call police, who determined the materials in the home were meant to make bombs connected to the attack on Bourbon Street. On Thursday morning, the New Orleans Police Superintendent, Ann Kirkpatrick, said on NBC's Today that authorities were investigating people of interest related to the attack. "We have people of interest. They are not people who are suspects at this time," Kirkpatrick said, adding, "The FBI is tracking down everybody." The vehicles involved in the attacks in New Orleans and Las Vegas were rented using the car-sharing app Turo, and the suspects in both incidents, who were both killed, had been or were in the military, leading to questions being asked, including by Joe Biden, about whether the events were connected. That link was scotched by authorities later on Thursday. A spokesperson for Turo said the company was cooperating with police. The company also said that, "We do not believe that either renter had a criminal background that would have identified them as a security threat," according to international news agency reports.
Bringing you the news in a more digital way.